This show is made possible by support from Landsharks.ca. Visit them for all your coin and swag needs at www.landsharks.ca. And by viewers like you. Thank you for your donations.
On this episode, a BC cacher wins honors, the CBC goes caching, and a new children's book on caching. It's October 29, 2011. This is Trackfiles. Hi there, and welcome to Trackfiles. I'm your host, Islas. Trackfiles is a video podcast featuring caching news, upcoming events, major milestones, YouTube videos, and podcast rewind. My website is trackfiles.tv. My email address is geoisenride@isenride.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Trackfiles. And if you're a fan of the show, make sure you sign up on the Trackfiles Facebook fan page. So, what's happened this week in caching? Time for caching news. So for our first news article, we visit with the afternoon edition at the CBC website in Regina, Saskatchewan, where they have an article called Who's Up for Geocaching? Now what this is a radio report on caching, where one of the reporters goes out with an area cacher and gets introduced to the sport. One of my favorite types of articles. So I'm not going to run any of it on Trackfiles. However, I will have links on my website at trackfiles.tv where you can click and listen to the full-length interview. So next we travel to the state of Maryland and the RightCoast Conservative website, where we see a great promo for geocaching for the town of Ocean City, Maryland. So I'm going to run a little bit of the ad here on Trackfiles, and again, for a link to the full-length video, make sure you visit my website, trackfiles.tv.
Hey everybody, what's up? Scott Lennox here from Hooked on OC, your unofficial Ocean City tour guide. Listen, one of Ocean City's great mottos is discover an ocean of fun. And today we'd like to show you a new, interesting, awesome way to do that. Geocaching has taken the world by storm. What you're going to find is, as you're doing the geocaching, you're going to come across some really amazing stuff. The whole point of it really is to get you out there in the wilderness or someplace familiar like the Ocean City Boardwalk and just see what's out there to see. This is a little bit close to my heart. This is Charlie Kratz's Maryland State record white marlin, caught back in 1980, 135 pounds, still stands to this day and will for a while. Alright, so our online clue on geocaching.com, when we clicked on the lifesaver for here in Ocean City to find our cache, was look for something old that used to collect rainwater. And here we are, cistern. Rainwater runoff from the roof is captured and stored in the cistern. So this is exactly what I'm looking for. One of the rules you don't want to break about geocaching is we can't show you on video exactly where it is. So I'm going to give it a look for a couple of minutes, see if I can find it. I'll be back with you in just a second.
For our next article, we move from Maryland down south to the Carolinas, where we read in the CharlotteObserver.com website. Rock Hill teacher writes children's book on geocaching. When Heather Gregory couldn't find any children's books on geocaching to help with the presentation she was to give at a local preschool, she wrote her own starring her son Ben. It was so good, the preschool teacher suggested she turn it into a book. 2 years later, Gregory, a Mount Gallant Elementary art teacher, is celebrating the release of Ben and the Geocache Treasure, a 28-page children's book available for $9.99 through Tate Publishing. In the story, 7-year-old Ben discovers a hidden treasure or cache, then gets some help from his mom as he researches its origins online. He learns about the popular hobby and, as the back cover puts it, discovers that adventure, treasure, and secrets don't have to be fictional. Gregory said she wrote it to introduce children to the high-tech hunting game and entice them to explore. I mean, you're hunting for treasures in the woods, she said. I haven't met a kid yet that hasn't just loved it. So there you go, folks. If you're interested in checking out the book, check out my website at trackfiles.tv, where I'll have links to both this article and where you can actually go and buy the book. Next, we head over to the Lily Pond in Seattle, where we read on the Latitude 47 blog, announcing the October Featured Geocacher of the Month. Coast to Coast to Coast has been named the October Featured Geocacher of the Month. More than 50 geocachers posted comments in support of Coast to Coast's humble dedication to geocaching, geocachers, and its local community. According to one commenter, Tom and Heather are the reason why I learned about geocaching in the first place, and ever since they've been an inspiration to all geocachers in our neck of the woods. They've hosted multiple events, hidden excellent caches at all various levels of difficulty, and are always aiding fellow cachers when in need. Coast to Coast to Coast will receive a collector's edition Geocacher of the Month geocoin, along with a Geocacher of the Month hat and certificate acknowledging their contributions, signed by 2 of the founders of Geocaching.com. So Coast to Coast to Coast, or as I call him, Tom, congratulations, man. You've done a ton of work for the caching community on Vancouver Island. Heck, you even allowed me to join the Vancouver Island Geocachers Association. So, next time you're up in Prince George, dude, Tim Hortons on me. Well, that about wraps it up for news. Time for this episode's YouTube caching video. YouTube caching video. Well, for this episode, we're heading down to Minnesota to visit with my good friend Joshua Johnson and his latest YouTube escapades. And this particular video is called Geocaching Car Crash, where Joshua and his crew go out to a great geocaching event, and, well, I'll have highlights of the video, and as usual, make sure you check out my website for a link to the full-length video. Geocaching Car Crash, this episode's YouTube video from Joshua Johnson and Trackfiles.
Okay, we are now on the Cicada Trail. This is actually the power trail. There's like 140 hides between Mankato and Faribault, and we're gonna have to do that someday. But we just found probably one of the hardest finds on that. We were second to find. We didn't want to show it to you because it's a good one. And now we're gonna continue on the Cicada Trail. Cicada. Not all the caches are super easy at this event. They're actually quite challenging. I'm really impressed. But this one is about 12 feet up in the tree. If you can see it, there's a little, oh, there's a light there. Little spider. There's a little spider up there. So, here, Reese, catch the camera. Oh, it's on.
Oh crud, the lens fell off. Here you guys. There.
Alright, so
I'm going to show it from the ground so you can see actually how high he is.
oh my goodness. These limbs are... Guys, we did it! We got all 26 OTAC caches. We got the final one. Reese the bunny is right now. She's lowering down the final cache that we got. Very nice. Very nice. How does it make you feel? Are you tired?
Yeah.
You ready for some burgers?
No.
Fries?
Yes.
Water?
Yes.
Alright. We did it! High five!
It took us like in half an hour to find this one.
Yeah. This one, the cords were offset, so. Anyway, we're having fun! We found it! The Loose Moose Saloon and Conference Center. Yeah! Well, that's kind of like a conference. Open. Going in. To... Bunny, what do we win? A Shields gift card, sweet, and we get to go into the NASCAR simulator. Congratulations! Okay, guys, we are here. We are at the NASCAR simulator, and I'm gonna race against the Reester Bunny. Reese, are you nervous about this?
Yes.
7.
Reese, how you feeling about your first drive?
4, 3, 2, 1, go!
We're all gonna die! So exciting! Nice job, Reese. Nice job. You're first. Keep it straight. No, don't hit the wall. We're going backwards. What? Turn around. No, the car's coming right for us. Smoke. Oh, good. We almost died.
We had a lot of fun. Thanks to the people who made that event. It was really fun. And
Leaping Guy.
yeah, Leaping Guy, thank you.
Misfit Zoo.
Misfit Zoo, thank you.
And Mr. Pencil.
And Mr. Pencil, thank you. Bye.
So there you go, folks, just a few highlights from the video. As usual, visit my website, trackfiles.tv, for a link to the full-length video. Well, now that watching that video's got you all excited about caching, time to find some events to go to. Time for this episode's Caching Event Planner. Caching Event Planner. All these events are scheduled for next Saturday, November 5th, 2011. First, we start in Spain, where we have Come and Join Us Again, hosted by the Creepy Crawlies. From there, we go to Weymouth, England, for the Firework Flash Mob, hosted by Saw67. Next, we hop across the Atlantic and go down to Huntsville, Alabama, for Don't Be Early, hosted by Just Bob. Next, we go to Dexter, Missouri, for Arkansas Meets Missouri, hosted by Woodwalker 9 and Math Seeker. And finally, we head up to the Great White North, Kingston, Ontario, for Cache 4, hosted by Kilray Returns, Blues Away, and KB half. So there you go, folks, just some of the many events scheduled for next Saturday, November 5th, 2011. And if you have an upcoming event you'd like featured on Trackfiles, email me, geoiceandry@iceandry.com. So now that you got your travel plans booked, time for some listening material for those long flights. Time for Podcast Rewind. Podcast Rewind, looking back at this past week in caching podcasts. First we start with Cachemaniacs, where Daryl and Dre interview G. Heine of Northwestern Ontario. Next we go to the Geocaching podcast, where they talk with NC Biscuit about caching with dogs and the things you need to be aware of when caching with your canines. And finally we head down to Geotalk, where Geotalk gets an update on the New Zealand mega event. They hear from Australia and Peru, and they give you the final clue in their geostuff.com.au competition. So there you go, folks, just some of the many geocaching podcasts out there. And as usual, visit my website, trackfiles.tv, for links to these and more geocaching podcasts. Well, that about wraps up for this episode of Trackfiles. I hope you enjoyed. But before I go, just a few quick notes. First off, mad props to Landsharks for the continuing support of the Trackfiles podcast. Make sure you visit them for all your coin and swag needs at landsharks.ca. I'd also like to thank the financial contributors to the podcast. Folks, without your contributions, Trackfiles would not be possible. And if you'd like to contribute to the podcast, it's very easy. Just visit my website, trackfiles.tv, and look for the PayPal buttons on the right side menu. But in the meantime and in between time, that's it. Another episode of Trackfiles. I hope you enjoyed. So, until the next episode, cache on.